Good morning, everybody. It is, oh, look, you can see my pop filter here. Let me just move that out of the way. There we go. Good morning, everybody. It is 11:30 on a Tuesday, which means it is time for First Chapter Fun. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I should say. I am live on Facebook. I am live on Instagram. We have lots of people joining. This is amazing. My name is Hannah Mary McKinnon, and with my partner in fictional crime, Hank Phillippi Ryan, this is the place where twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday, the days with a T, we read the first chapter of different books. And today I have a very special treat for you because, I mean, every book is a treat to read, obviously. Hold on, my iPad's just gone to sleep, of course, because it would, wouldn't it, when I'm in the middle of doing something. Today we are actually reading from Hank's latest novel, The First to Lie, because today is pub day for The First to Lie. So congratulations, Hank. This is your 12th book, I believe. Is it 12th or 13th? Either way, incredible read. I read this, I gobbled it up. And this is what I'm going to be reading to you shortly. So I have lots of people joining on Facebook and Instagram already. We have Linda in Hingham, who's so excited to celebrate Hank today. And Kaylee says, what a special day. My goodness, I can't keep up with the comments. Karen Hamilton is here. We read from Karen's book, The Last Wife, a couple of weeks ago. Linda Rosen's here. We're going to be reading from Linda's book too, and Tracy Clark as well. Pugs and Pages, who always does these lovely posts with her pups. And over on Facebook, we have Al, we have Carla, we have Bonner, we have Shannon and Ali. And Katie Tallow, we read from Dark August. Congratulations, Katie, still on the bestseller list. Incredible, there's so many people. And of course, Hank is here too, both on Facebook and on Instagram. Good morning, Tori. Good morning, Judy. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with all the comments. It's so wonderful to be here today, to be able to celebrate this wonderful pub date with Hank, who just wrote, oh, this is so amazing, I am freaking out a little. No, this is first chapter fun. We're among friends. It's all relaxed. And yeah, I know what you mean. You're freaking out. It's pub date. Of course you are. But I don't think you need to freak out because, you know, your books are incredible, Hank. So I don't think you need to freak out over anything. Lots of people saying, Hank, congratulations. Lots and lots of hearts coming up on Instagram. This is absolutely lovely. So how is everyone? Let me ask you how you're doing. How is everyone doing? It's a bit of a rainy day here today, which is actually pretty good because our grass has gone brown. It was Swiss National Day on Saturday, 1st of August. Of course, I live in Canada, but we still decorated the house a little bit. Didn't eat much cheese or chocolate though. But still, it was Swiss National Day, so that was my little thing, my little nod to my home country for the weekend. But I hope you're all well. We'll be getting news soon about what the return to school is going to look like here in Oakville for us, and I have no idea. So that will be interesting. I have 3 boys who are in high school, and we just don't know what that's going to look like. So, I guess, you know, we've lived through a few months of, I don't know, madness, mayhem, bedlam, whatever. And I guess we'll just have to continue bumbling our way through whatever it is that is going to happen. But I kind of got to the point where I'm thinking as long as everyone is healthy and safe, then I should just count my blessings and suck it up and get on with it. So that's really where I am. So I hope you're all well. I hope everyone is still safe and well and healthy, and welcome, of course, to this rather special episode of First Chapter Fun, which is episode 78. So if you have not caught an episode of First Chapter Fun yet, first of all, where have you been? Just kidding. And second, don't worry, because we have saved all of the previous episodes, both on our IGTV on First Chapter Fun on Instagram, and also in the Facebook group First Chapter Fun. They are all there. If you go onto the new Facebook, it's under the media and then videos section, so you can watch 77 episodes and go through them to your heart's content and find out all about these new books and new to you books and new to you authors. That is what the premise of First Chapter Fun is. That was why it was born back in March, to introduce authors to new readers. And here we are, episode 78, and we still have readings scheduling into, I don't know, March or April next year. So stick with us and we'll introduce you to lots and lots of books between now and then, and hopefully thereafter. So Hank, of course, is here. She's both watching on Instagram and on Facebook, so you can leave questions and comments for her about the book. Now on Instagram Live, the comments do disappear. I will save this recording or this broadcast, of course, under our IGTV, but for whatever reason, all of the comments on the live disappear. But it will be saved under our IGTV. So if you want to leave Hank a comment on Instagram, you got to do it now. Whereas on Facebook, you can do it anytime because they will all be saved, and she will, of course, pop in and read through them and answer them. So it'd be lovely if you send her a little congratulatory note, because it is pub day. Always a special day. Always very intense and fun and busy, and with social media trying to keep up with the post is impossible. So it's always such good fun. So if I get chucked out, which I did last week with Facebook, it just stopped broadcasting. It was so much fun not. But if that happens, I'll either try and fix it straight away as I was able to last week, or I'll come back and start the recording again. But fingers crossed, everything will run smoothly. Facebook will not chuck me out, and you'll get to hear the entire first chapter of, drumroll, The First to Lie. I think you can see that pretty well on Instagram, and you can see it well on Facebook as well. So The First to Lie, I'm just going to switch that light off. There we go. That's even a little bit better, isn't it? Yes. Okay. The First to Lie by our one and only Hank Phillippi Ryan. So let me tell you, I'm gonna get my glasses. No, I don't need them. I printed it out in large font. Getting old. So The First to Lie by Hank Phillippi Ryan. I'll read from that, but first let me introduce you to Hank, as if Hank needs an introduction. I mean, really, but I'm going to do it anyway. So Hank Phillippi Ryan is a USA Today best-selling author of 12 thrillers, winning the most prestigious awards in the genre. Okay, hold on to your knickers, boys and girls, because these are the awards that she has won. 5 Agathas, 3 Anthonys, the Daphne, and for the other woman, the coveted Mary Higgins Clark Award. But that is not all. But wait, there's more. She is also the on-air investigative reporter for Boston's WHDH-TV with 37 Emmys and dozens more journalism honours. I need to know how big your bookshelf is, Hank. Actually, we've seen it on the episodes of First Chapter Fun, but you must have just one room dedicated to all of your awards. I can't get my head around it. That is just incredible. Book critics call her a master of suspense, a superb and gifted storyteller, and she's the only author to have won the Agatha in 4 different categories: Best First Novel, Best Short Story, and Best Non-Fiction. Hank's previous book, this was last year's, The Murder List, and Agatha Anthony it's just so overwhelming. Hank's previous book is The Murder List, and it's an Agatha Anthony and Mary Higgins Clark Award nominee. Her brand new standalone, the chilling psychological thriller The First to Lie, here we go. And the Publishers Weekly starred review says, stellar. Hank Phillippi Ryan could win a 6th Agatha with this one. And bestseller Sarah Pekanen says, book clubs will gobble it up. Yeah, they got that right. I read it and it is absolutely brilliant. And of course, this is read with Hank's permission, but also with the permission from her publisher, Forge Books. and of course it's a division of Macmillan Publishing Group, and they have given us the A-OK to read the first chapter from this. Writer Tori says, yep, Hank is a rock star. Tracy is laughing at my use of knickers. Hang on to, yeah, you could say hang on to your hats, or in England we'd say hang on to your knickers or your underwear, and it's just a silly expression. And M Dame says, I noticed all those awards in the first broadcast from Hank's home. I know, isn't that insane? It's just crazy. Congratulations, Hank. You're just awesome. You know how much I love you. Tons and tons. All right. So let me tell you about the book. Let me read you the introduction to the novel. Okay, here we go. Best-selling and award-winning author and investigative reporter Hank Phillippi Ryan delivers another twisty, thrilling cat-and-mouse novel of suspense that will have you guessing and second-guessing and then gasping with surprise. We all have our reasons for being who we are, but what if being someone else could get you what you want? After a devastating betrayal, a young woman sets off on an obsessive path to justice, no matter what dark family secrets are revealed. What she doesn't know, she isn't the only one plotting her revenge. An affluent daughter of privilege, a glamorous, manipulative wannabe, a determined reporter in too deep, a grieving widow who must choose her new reality. Who will be the first to lie? And when the stakes are life and death, do a few lies matter anyway? I'm going to have to put my glasses on now as I read you. Oh, thank you, Kaylee. That's a lovely compliment. It's the filter on Instagram. I'm going to read you now the first to lie. So I've just seen a comment from Judy saying that Facebook stopped, but I still see myself. I'm hoping that Facebook... I'm not hoping that it's just an issue for Judy, but kind of. I'm hoping that other people still see me. If you could quickly leave me a note on Facebook, if someone could just pop a comment on saying that you can still see me, that it's still working, that would be... Oh, Hank says I still see it. Okay, great. All right. So back to the book. Let's ignore Facebook's silly technical issues for now. And let me read you the introduction and the first chapter of The First to Lie. Without any sneaky fine print and knowing everything you know, if you could start your adult life over as someone else, would you do it? Say you could choose the person, where they live and what they do. You could choose what parts of your prior knowledge to retain and what parts to forget. Family baggage? Discard it. Friends and lovers and commitments erased, along with your vanished past. Obsessions could stay. How you look and how you sound, your goals and motivations and deepest desires, whatever you want, you could do it, be it, love it, lose it. Sound good? I fibbed. There is one bit of fine print. You. Every time you'd look in the mirror, you'd remember. Mirrors make such false promises. They tell you, look here and you'll see yourself. But that's the first lie. You see a face and a body, sure, but a mirror doesn't show your true self. That you have to find on your own by looking inside, and no seductive piece of silvered glass can help you. Still, I know all it takes is a tweak here and a twist there to become someone else. So would you do it? To get what you always wanted? Sure you would. All you have to do is lie. Chapter 1. Nora. Lies have a complicated half-life. Nora, for now, tried to calculate the lifespan of her most recent one as she waited on the corner of Tremont and Union Park, the evening's first snowflakes beginning to accumulate on her new, to her, black cashmere coat. Boston was new to her too, with its treacherous weather and confusing streets and wary response to newcomers. They'd warned her, laughing, not to ask for directions. "You can't get there from here," people told her. Now, after just 3 weeks as a sales rep, she knew it was true, all of it. But this was the right corner, and Douglas had said he'd lived here for years, so she could rely on him for directions, geographical at least. The other directions, those he'd take from her. That was the plan. She could indeed get there from here. Douglas would arrive soon, and he'd be happy to brush the snowflakes from her shoulders, take her someplace private and Scotch-infused. She closed her eyes with the rhythm of her process, with keeping her balance, not crossing a line. Behind her, a horn beat. She turned, carefully casual. Nothing. She checked for surveillance cameras. None. A seemingly oblivious passerby pinged her inner alarm, but the guy with the backpack was too focused on his phone to be a threat, someone following her or watching her. The interior lights came on in a maybe Volvo parked half a block down the street. Nora eased, slowly, into the lee of the street light, keeping to the shadows. But it was just a mum, or nanny, extricating a baby from a car seat in the back. Nothing about Nora. "Nora? Miss Quinn?" She whirled as the voice came from behind her. So much for her detective skills. "Douglas," she said, softening her face into Nora's face, relaxing her smile into Nora's welcoming smile, opening her arms like Nora did, establishing first names. But had she already failed? Douglas might notice her artifice, how she'd first flinched at his voice. "Did I scare you?" He came toward her, leaned to her, his breath puffing into the early evening chill. "I couldn't wait to see you. Am I early?" "Yes, you scare me," Nora wanted to tell him. "You're a monster." "Of course not, Doctor," she said, using his title on purpose, teasing, proving her admiration. She slid her hand through the bend of his elbow to avoid his clumsy attempt to kiss her. She was Nora. She'd be Nora, and she had to stay Nora. A turning headlight grazed his face, then slipped past, leaving the memory of paisley and camel hair, of grey at the temples and Ivy League posture. Chin up, shoulders back, privilege confidently in place. Nora tried to match him stride for stride in her ridiculous but necessary suede heels, but she stumbled on a jagged shard of sidewalk. "Oh!" she cried, suddenly precarious, grabbing his sleeve. A reflex, not a tactic. Her heels, inappropriately but deliberately too high, would be ruined. "Gotcha!" Douglas caught her, collecting her with a paternal chuckle, preventing her from landing on the cold and gritty concrete below. "Have you already started on wine?" "No, silly." "Gotcha. Really?" Nora ignored his patronising tone, then pivoted to cash in on her unintentional damsel-in-distress moment. "Oh, no! Look at that!" She extended her bare leg from under her coat, pointed her toe so daintily, and pretended to pout. Sometimes it was scary, honestly scary, that this came to her so easily. "These poor little shoes are probably the worse for wear." "Nice leg," Douglas said. "You idiot," she thought. "Gotcha." They walked arm in arm toward the hip South End restaurant he'd chosen, Calabria. Nora had scouted it in advance, all dripping ferns and dark wood and sophisticated stained glass and subdued lighting, with high-backed mahogany booths for those who needed privacy, and spotlighted centre tables for those who needed to be noticed. "Dr. Hawkins has selected a booth," the obliging Maître D had informed her. Perfect. She'd met Hawkins earlier this morning in his clinic office, where he'd been flat out 53 minutes late for their appointment. She'd hung her coat on the rack, then kept track of every passing minute, using the calculation to intensify her resolve. doctors. So many of them thought they were the important ones, that the women waiting, appointment-bound, fidgeting in hypoallergenic chairs and carefully choosing glossy magazines from the glass-topped coffee table were merely supplicants, needy. They should be grateful for the eventual attention, for whatever medications the doctor chose. As if the doctors could have known about these medications on their own. As if they'd chosen them without the persuasion of a salesperson like Nora. She'd patted her square black briefcase as if to reassure herself that all her ammunition was still at the ready. Notebooks, pamphlets, dosage instructions, samples. Those she'd taken from her personal storage unit this morning, carefully counted, making sure, then locking the unit again. Nora wasn't the only one with a key. Her new employer, Farminex, could have their security goons check her supplies any time they wanted. The other women in the doctor's waiting room, leafing through the array of magazines or glued to their phones, some even wearing sunglasses, all needed the good doctor. They'd realised, maybe, with the gasp of mortality or a push from a spouse, that their window of time for having a child of their own, a biological child, was slipping away. Now they waited, some hopeful, yearning, optimistic, some fearing failure. A dark-haired prospect, wearing the expensive Uggs and pill-free leggings, wrapped a cashmere shawl closer around her shoulders and flipped at her cell phone screen with a manicured finger. Her feet betrayed her, though, one toe tapping persistently on the thin-piled beige carpeting. A weary blonde, posture sagging and dark circles not hidden even by two big sunglasses, cocooned on an ivory tweed club chair next to Nora, studying the floor. The zipper of one salt-edged brown boot was not fully closed. Not her first time here, Nora thought. Maybe her last. Their eyes met in a flash of sisterhood, maybe, or sympathy. She's probably evaluating me, Nora thought. Good luck with that. It'd be impossible for anyone observing her to reach the correct conclusions. Was she a possibility? Nora might point out her unzipped boot, maybe seg into the weather, and then see where the conversation went. Strange that infertility clinics like this felt like safe spaces, Nora thought, filled with insistent sisters, a sorority no one wanted to be in. The best way to start a conversation was to find common ground, go from there and see what she could find out. Trying to chat with women, strangers, in doctors' offices like these, she needed to be careful, subtle, intruding gently on their personal space. Probably easier at a paediatrician's, where squabbling children and maternal choices might engender instant camaraderie. But easy wasn't the point. She knew to wait until it felt right, scout for a possible victim, and then take the first step. Announced by a gentle ping of the door chime, a new patient arrived in the waiting room. This one bundled in black wool against the lingering March winter, revealing only red lipstick and fatigued eyes. The woman scanned the room and chose a spot on a maroon leather love seat, spaced as far away from each of the others as possible. Aloof, solitary, wary. Not a possibility, Nora decided. Each woman here, reading or texting or simply staring at the soothing butterscotch walls, possessed the same hopes and the same fears. Except for Nora. "Could you hand me that magazine?" Nora said to the woman in the boots. "I don't want to reach over you to the table." The woman handed her the outdated Newsweek with a wan smile. "Oh dear," Nora said, flipping the pages. "I've read this one." She chuckled softly. "Guess I've been here too often." "Once is too often," the woman said. "Got that right," Nora nodded, sympathetic, commiserating. "It's so hard, but I just want... She let her voice trail off, wistful. "Never mind. Sorry to bother." "Oh, no bother." The woman shifted in her seat, turned to her, wrapped her cardigan closer. "You okay? You look sad." We all look sad, right? Nora shrugged. You can tell the ones who... I know. The woman pressed her lips together. Could I ask, Nora looked at the ceiling, then moved closer to her, whispering, were you surprised at anything? Was it like they said, or different? I don't mean to intrude, and I know I'm kind of being inarticulate, but It's awful, she said. My husband is so disappointed, and I am too. But we're hoping they can... She closed her eyes, opened them again. That's what I'm here to find out. Supposedly. I'm sure it'll be fine. They can fix anything. I tell myself that. I'll try anything. They're supposed to have a miracle drug here, Nora whispered. Well, not a miracle drug, I guess, but something that really works. She paused, deciding how far to push. Is that why you're here? Did they say they could help you get pregnant? She nodded. Did they? The woman's eyes welled. Not yet, she whispered, and maybe not ever. But I can't think about that. I won't. When the white-coated receptionist called her name, Nora! She was so focused on the other woman's story that it took a moment before it registered, and she remembered Nora was her. The others had lifted their eyes as the receptionist stood, eager. Then they exchanged embarrassed glances as if to say, Oh, not yet? She's first. Oh, okay. I'm okay. Nora had acknowledged them all with a sympathetic half smile as she picked up the brass-latched sample bag she'd tucked under her chair. You'll be fine, she tried to telegraph. I'm so sorry, that's me, Nora said. She should have gotten the woman's contact information, or even just her name, but there was no time now. Damn! Nora reached into her jacket pocket, pulled out one of her cards. She touched the woman's arm, a split-second gesture, kept her voice low, handed her the simple white rectangle, as she'd done several times before with other women like her. Call me if you want to talk. I'll be thinking of you. You too, the woman murmured. Thank you. Douglas Hawkins, MD, had almost been an hour late. Craggy, experienced, congenial, white coat and stethoscope. Since he knew she was a pharmaceutical company salesperson pitching him, he didn't bother with bedside manner. Nora had been instantly forgiving of his tardiness, brushing aside his perfunctory apologies. Negotiations could be delicate, and it was best to start with sympathy on your side. Points for politeness, her mother had always told her. Thank you so much, Nora had said. I'm brand new to this and to Boston, so I'm grateful for your time. And truly, I simply want to leave you with some materials about our company's latest... Hawkins didn't let her finish her sentence. Sure, he said. I have 15 minutes. I'll check my email while you prepare. He gestured her to one of the navy blue upholstered guest chairs across from his desk. Strange, she thought as she took her seat, for a doctor's office to look more like a lawyer's or a banker's. Syracuse, Johns Hopkins, Massachusetts Board of Registration in Medicine, the framed parchment credentials were placed precisely at a visitor's eye level. Nora set her sample case at her feet and clicked it open. She'd expected the usual exam room, white-walled and glaringly fluorescent, and was relieved she didn't have to endure one of those again. Maybe this inner sanctum was where he and his patients conferred, where he presented his news, happy or sad, where there was room for a spouse, if there was one. Ready? Hawkins glanced again at his computer screen, then back at her, seemed to take her in, her now auburn, chin-length hair, pale green eyes and severe dark suit. She looked like a Nora Quinn. She'd planned it that way. 14 minutes now. His tone had changed, now almost amused or welcoming. She noticed his wedding ring, a conservative gold band. But who's counting? Thanks. She pretended to wince, drawing in her shoulders, looking at him with apprehension in her eyes. Like I said, I'm new, so you probably have a lot more experience than I do in this. She kept talking, pitching, hardly looking at her detail sheet, careful to portray nothing but business. It fascinated her the way some men, not all, but some, believed so devoutly in their authority, forgetting how quickly one can go from king to pawn. Though Dr. Hawkins was already a pawn, poor thing. After she started talking, he hadn't looked at his computer again. Not once. Nora was good at what she did. That's who Nora was. The glow of the restaurant now beckoned down darkening Appleton Street. Coppery lights warmed through the dark wood entrance. Douglas reached out to open the restaurant door for her. Nora walked through, and when she turned, she saw he was smiling. Gotcha, she thought. That was the first chapter of The First to Lie. Here we go. You can see that really well on Facebook and Instagram, by Hank Phillippi Ryan, our one and only. Wasn't that a great chapter? And I can tell you, it just barrels on. It's just amazing. It is so twisty and so turny, and definitely not a book to miss. And it's out today. Today is pub day for The First to Lie by our one and only Hank. Just fantastic and just phenomenal. Congratulations again, Hank. I'm sure you're going to have a super day, and it's just so lovely to be able to celebrate pub day with you. So fantastic. So we have lots and lots of comments coming in. Grace says it's a wickedly great read, full of deceit, betrayal and lies. Oh yes, that is for sure. Glennie says excellent, keep reading. Yeah, we'll just read the whole book, we'll just go on until late into the night. Writer Tori says on my Kindle and ready to read. This is brilliant. And Robin lives in Oakville. Hi, Robin. She says, brilliant. I love the start, straight into action. And then we have to wait to find out who on earth is Nora. Well, I'm not saying I know, but I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to find that out for yourself. Ali from Burlington says, loving it so far. I am on chapter 13. And Liza Nash Taylor, we're reading from Liza's book next week, says, sounds great. Congratulations to Hank. So many wonderful comments. This is just great. It's just lovely to do first chapter fun and to be able to celebrate new books and new releases, and not so new books and new releases with you as well. So let me tell you about Thursday's book. So on Thursday we have The Line Between by Tosca Lee, another best-selling author. So this is Thursday's read, which I hope you will tune in for, as always, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, every Tuesday and Thursday, the days with a tea with Hannah and Hank. So that was it. This is it. That is it. That was today's episode of First Chapter Fun. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Such an honour to read from Hank's book today, on pub day no less. And I hope that I will see you again on Thursday. So until then, as always, please stay safe, stay kind, and we'll see you on Thursday. Thank you for watching.